I met Umair Javed, the founder and CEO of Tkxel, one of the fastest growing tech company in Pakistan. They were employing around 1000 people at that time, and we were at around 25 people at that time. So pretty big difference. When I met him, that was like a huge fanboy moment for me because I admire Tkxel with almost everything they do. They have amazing processes. Umair Javed himself is like a brilliant guy. He used to teach at Lums at some point, and I mean, amazing guy overall. Now, when I met him, that was like a huge fanboy moment for me. I had some questions in mind, and I forgot like half of those questions, but then I was still able to ask quite a lot of them and got some value out of them. Now, recently I shared a video where I was sharing about the hard times we faced during RipeSeed, and in that video I mentioned that I met Umair Javed from Tkxel. And in the comments, you guys started asking about the advices that I got from him. That what did he recommend me? What was the meeting about? So I thought I should just record this one and share the lessons that I learned from him to everyone. So now, before we get to that, I want to get more into how I was able to arrange that meeting and how I was able to get in touch with him. Tkxel was one of the company where I worked during the initial years of my career. So I worked there for like 6 to 8 months almost, and that was like an amazing experience. A huge company, a huge corporate working on big projects. Most of my responsibility was working around AWS. I was working on a lot of serverless tech stack, Lambda functions, AWS Amplify, some Angular over there, and a lot of this kind of stuff. So I was doing some interesting work over there. But during the time I was working there, I was never able to get in touch with him. I was just working on the project, and there was no reason for any interaction with him. I wanted to, but I never got the chance. So then, like, fast forward to like 6 to 8 months ago, when I reached out to him, I dropped him a message, gave him some intro about myself, that I have worked in Tkxel for this number of months. I have been running my own company for the past 2.5 years, and I'm facing some problems. I wrote him like a long message, not that long, but like a medium-sized long message. I wrote him a long message and told him the issues I was facing and what I need guidance about. And to my absolute surprise, I was not expecting it. He replied. Now, I mean, again, I was not expecting it at all. That was like a fanboy moment for me again. So again, I responded, I just calmed myself and responded back, and we arranged a time, and we finally got to meet. I think we met him around mid of January this year. So I went to their office. I told him what I was doing, what situation we were in, what kind of difficulties we were facing. And one of the question that I asked him is the question that's on everyone's mind. I asked him, how do you guys do sales? I mean, how do all of these big companies do sales? This is the question that everyone has, right? How is Tkxel doing sales? How is Systems doing sales? Are all the big companies, Tata, all of these companies, how are they doing sales? So I asked him the same question, and his answer was very simple. He said, whatever Tkxel is doing, you as a small company won't be able to replicate that. Tkxel has like long processes, like huge teams. They do like pre-sales. They have like long closing durations, because at that time we were closing a lot of clients through Upwork. So most like our closing time was around 1 or 2 months maybe. Sometimes it takes 3 months, but like most of the time it's like 1 or 2 months. So his answer was, whatever Tkxel is doing, you don't even have to chase that at this stage. What's working for you? So I told him that we are just doing Upwork so far, and Upwork is usually not considered that good for sales. People just assume that if you are doing sales from Upwork, you are probably not doing a good job. You are not even doing sales. But his answer, as someone who is running such a huge company, his answer was just double down on Upwork. If you have some number that if you can spend X amount of money and you can make Y amount of money from it, then just double that X amount of money. Double the X amount of money and you will double the revenue. Now it's extremely simple. It's extremely simple. But when it comes from someone who has that much of industry experience, then it gives a different kind of impression to you. And like you have a different kind of impact of this message. So this is what he advised me. The first thing, instead of focusing on email marketing, all of the other things, or basically everything, instead of focusing on all of those other things, just double down on what's working for you already, which was a work. And that made sense. Now, I will come to the rest of the question that I asked him, but let me just first tell you how I applied his advice and how that worked out for me. I started observing that we can double down the number of proposals we are sending, or we can just improve what we are already doing. Maybe we don't even have to send twice as much proposals. Maybe we just improve the ones that we are already sending, right? So I started looking into all the proposals that we were sending, and I observed that the quality of proposals can be improved. It was good, but if I was a technical person reviewing the proposals, I might not be intrigued by them. I might not feel like I should reach out to these people. So I started arranging multiple meetings per week, more than 1 hour of length. So I had those meetings, I reviewed the proposals of each and every team member, and we found a lot of issues. We found a lot of room for improvement. We like our sales team requested that they needed to have some knowledge base that they can refer ultimately to respond to clients accordingly. So I created a whole knowledge base on Notion, where we have all of our projects mentioned, the tech stack and everything. So we have that Notion document basically, and now the sales team can refer to them, and they like gave the feedback that this knowledge base is now helping them a lot with their outreach. So that was the one thing. Instead of doubling down on the proposals, we just improved what we were already doing. So that helped. Now, another question I asked him about sales was, I mean, like, what is sales basically? In services business, what do you call sales, and how do we do sales? So the question was somewhere along that line, but his answer was important, which is where I want to get to. So his answer was, sales is simple. There is a person who needs some help, and there is the provider who can provide that help. Very simple. There is this person who needs some help, and there is the other person who can provide that help. Now, if you boil down sale to just these basic principles, then you don't care about the platform. It's not about Upwork, email marketing, LinkedIn, any platform. It's just that you have to be someone who can help the other person, who can provide the solution that the other person is looking for. I mean, I'm not sure if I am right now in this video able to convey this message properly, but this is very important. And right now, these days, I think about this concept almost every day, that whatever I'm doing, I'm creating content, I'm reaching out to people, talking to people on different social networks, on comments, everything. I just keep this principle in mind, that if there is someone out there who's looking for help, they should know that I can provide that help, that we can provide that help as a company. Or, I mean, if there is someone out there who needs help, we should be able to provide that help as well. First thing, they should know that I can provide that help, and the second thing, we should be able to actually provide that help. So boiling down the sales to these two basic principles can help you understand a lot of things very, very clearly. Now, the other thing I was also worried at that time was shrinking profits and increasing expenses. So like we had like the strength of 28 team members at that time, and I mean, considering 1200, that is nothing, but again, we were still having a lot of issues, especially at the time when I went to meet him. At that time we made some losses already. So I asked him, like, I know I can fix this issue temporarily by letting some people go, but I don't want to do that. No one wants to do that. I mean, even though companies are notorious for it, that they are very ruthless, I'm pretty sure that almost everyone who's new to setting up company and building business, it's very hard to let someone go. I'm pretty sure, because it was very challenging for me. So I asked him, like, what should I do? I know I have to just manage my expenses somehow. We are not making profit anymore. What should I do? What do I need to do? So, I mean, his response was that as a CEO, as a founder, you have to make these hard decisions. It's on you how you take them. Maybe you cut some other expenses. Maybe you have to let some people go. You do it in a nice way. You do it in a decent way. You give them enough amount of like good severance package or something. But I mean, it's part of business. You have to do it. It's not good. I mean, it's not easy, and it's not very clean. So, I mean, it's not good, but as the founder, as a CEO, you have to take that hit. You have to live with that decision basically. So, I mean, I took that advice, and this was already kind of obvious, but I needed to hear this from someone who has been in the industry for a long time. I wanted to hear what he has to say. We managed some expenses, we changed some policies, and then once we improved a few months later, our situation improved a lot, our revenue improved a lot. We gave a lot of bonuses to the team members who were already there, to the team members who stayed with us and who were doing amazing job. Now this is most of what I discussed with him in that meeting. That meeting was around 40 to 45 minutes long. I was trying to be very mindful of his time because obviously his time is very precious. So it was about 40 minutes long, and this is most of what we discussed. Then a few months later, I applied his advices. I applied some other people's advice as well, and things improved a lot. We started making profit because we started improving a lot of our processes as well. So a few months passed by, and I pinged him. I gave him an update that this is how things are going. Thanks a lot for all of your advice and all of your guidance. And this is how I'm planning to do things now. These are the things that we have improved. I told him that we have, instead of focusing on new clients, we have improved our relationships with existing clients. And he said that this is one of the best lessons I have learned, that instead of just focusing on new ones every time, we have to give the best service possible to the existing clients. We have to improve the service so they are having the best experience of their lifetime. I asked him if it's possible to schedule another time, and he agreed. So in the next couple of weeks we met again, and this time most of my focus was to discuss about stress. So like, consider this picture in mind. We were doing really bad. I had to let some people go, people I have been working with for more than a year. So I had to let those people go. We were doing really bad, and now things turned around. Things were in a good state from revenue standpoint, but I was still very much stressed almost every other day. Like, what if things turn bad again? What if we again go into losses? Do I have to do all of that again? Do I have to let people go again? So even though at that moment we were not in a bad situation, I was still in a lot of stress at that time. So one of the questions that I asked him was, uh, you are running, like, I'm running this small operation of 25 people. You are running a 1,000 people company. Do you have stress? And like, if you have stress, then how do you handle it? I mean, I'm not able to comprehend how can someone handle the stress of 1,000 people. So and his answer was again simple but understandable. His answer was like, you have to live with stress. I mean, there is no running away from it. You will have to accept that as part of your routine. It, like, it's just part of how your brain works. Then stress keeps you running, stress keeps you motivated. Like, there is no other way. You can try to meditate and do some different breathing practices if you want to, but you have to understand that stress is going to be part of your life. There is no running away from it. It's not like he gave me a medicine for the stress, right? But I needed that confirmation that if it happened to someone like him, then if it's happening to me, then I might be on the right path. Okay. So I mean, sometimes you just need to hear that, okay, whatever is happening is part of the plan. You don't need a solution. You don't always need a solution to your problems. You just need to know that, okay, being in the problem, being confused and stressed is part of the journey. And I think I just needed to hear that. So these are basically all the things I discussed with him when I met him, mainly about sales, mainly about how to handle stress, and how to take the hard decisions. A lot of these advices, I mean, you can get the advice from everyone. If you just type these words on YouTube, you can find a bunch of videos. But when you hear these advice, when you listen to people who have been in the industry, who have walked the same path, then it gives a different kind of impact to you. So a lot of you guys had this question. A lot of you guys wanted to hear, wanted to know what I discussed with him, what was the content of that meeting with him. So I hope this helps. If you found it helpful, please like the video and subscribe to the channel, so all of the effort that we are trying to put in is recognized by people and recognized by algorithm, the YouTube algorithm. So don't forget to subscribe the channel and like this video. And if you have any other questions, any other suggestions, drop them in the comments down below, because that will help us generate some good content idea that can help basically everyone. My name is Hashir Baig. I'm a software engineer running a software company for the past 3 years. We help clients build their SaaS ideas, build their generative AI product ideas, help businesses solve their business problems using technology. I have a team of engineers, designers, salespeople. So if you guys like to work with us at some point, feel free to drop me a message on LinkedIn.